was told there'd be a big castle. It's fine. I can make do in this place. But it's fine. What's important is love.
Right, the most important thing.
And friendship.
This special time of bonding and me asking you lots of questions about yourself.
Right.
Because you really come alive when you talk about yourself, Megyn. And I have my pretzels as yet another token of the high esteem in which you hold me.
It's super high.
Great, okay.
Could not be higher.
Email that I've been keeping for you.
I have full body chills right now.
This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on. Thank you.
So, where does that leave Megyn and Megyn? As May rolled on, Megyn's silence became its own kind of headline. No interviews, no posts, no carefully crafted statements, just nothing. And in the vacuum, the narrative spun out of her control. X, formerly Twitter, buzzed with speculation. Was she regrouping, planning a comeback, or quietly retreating from the spotlight altogether?
This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on.
That is so beautiful.
No.
What do you think of them?
They're ridiculous.
She never stops whining.
Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly was riding the viral wave, her parody clip still racking up views, her podcast hitting new listener highs. But even her fans began to wonder, had she peaked?
Two-thirds of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
Following the legal ruling, Prince Harry ran to the media, shock, and participated in a sit-down interview with the BBC, claiming he does not see a world where he could bring Meghan and the kids back to the UK.
I think it's going to happen. I think what's going to happen because the threat of William taking the titles away. Yeah. But I think once the titles get stripped, I think Harry's...
Two-thirds of Brits are calling for Harry and Meghan to be stripped of their HRH titles.
Following the legal ruling, Prince Harry ran to the media, shock, and participated in a sit-down interview with the BBC, claiming he does not see a world where he could bring Meghan and the kids back to the UK.
I think it's going to happen. I think what's going to happen because the threat of William taking the titles away. Yeah. But I think once the titles get stripped, I think Harry's...
You do interviews on your show. Do you do the Jamie Kern-Lima reactions? Yes. Oh my God, there's something wrong with her.
They want it both ways. These people were so mean to us and poor us, and we don't want all this attention.
40 minutes into the podcast, this little picture, quite a grainy picture, flashed up, which shows a basket of, homemade preserves with a card on it, HRH, Duchess of Sussex, Meghan.
I find it a little bit cringe to give a gift to a close friend and sign it her royal
deal. And now all eyes were on what they'd deliver next, if anything. Then came the twist no one expected. Megyn was spotted meeting with a top crisis PR strategist in LA, the same firm that handled past celebrity damage control after flops, feuds, and worse. Paparazzi snapped her entering the building in oversized sunglasses and a tote bag that, naturally, had the phrase, "Still I Rise," printed in gold. Was it a signal? A shift? A comeback in motion? Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly doubled down. On her next podcast, she laughed off the backlash and teased a part 2 to her parody. "There's just so much material," she joked. But behind the scenes, even her camp was split. Was she becoming known more for her takedowns than her takes? Some longtime fans weren't so sure anymore. And as the internet debated who was more out of touch, Megyn with her lifestyle fantasy or Megyn with her vendetta energy, a new voice entered the conversation. Prince Harry. In a rare move, he made a quiet but firm statement through a spokesperson. It didn't mention Kelly by name, but
there are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired hours after he lost his appeal for taxpayer-funded
called recent attacks on Megyn deliberately cruel and built on misinformation. It was subtle, diplomatic, but the message was clear. The gloves were off. What happens next? No one knows. Megyn's future with Netflix hangs in the balance. Megyn Kelly's brand is booming, but at what cost? The public is still split. Team Megyn or Team Megyn? Authenticity or audacity? One thing is certain, this feud has become bigger than either of them. It's about image, power, and who gets to tell their story. And as both women navigate their next moves, the world is watching. The Summer of Spin. As June 2025 approached, Megyn's world was shifting behind the scenes. While the public waited for her next move, insiders hinted she was plotting a quiet rebrand. Smaller scale, more grounded, and far from the polished, pastel-filtered vibes of With Love, Megyn. One leak suggested she was in talks for a collab with a major wellness brand. Think oat milk, minimalism, and authenticity over aesthetics. Another source claimed she'd reached out to Oprah's team for strategic advice, hoping to regain public trust by getting back to basics. Gone were the days of $20 jam and mood board kitchens. Megyn wanted a narrative reset, but the internet wasn't done with her yet. On X, the memes kept coming. Someone made a viral mashup of Megyn repackaging pretzels with the caption, "How it started versus how it's going," showing her entering the PR firm's office. It racked up over 1 million views in 24 hours. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly was busy weaponizing the moment. Her podcast episodes now opened with a cheeky audio clip of rebranded Megyn saying, "I'm just really into intentional living," followed by laughter from her co-host. She launched limited edition merch, mugs that said "With Shade Megyn" and a hoodie that read "Killed the Queen" in Gothic font. Her fans? Ate it upper. But not everyone was clapping. By mid-June, Kelly faced new backlash from advocacy groups who claimed her commentary had veered into harassment. An open letter with over 100,000 signatures called for major platforms to stop amplifying her clips. Critics accused her of building a career on tearing down women, especially women of color, and Megyn's defenders started to mobilize. Hashtags like #Let Megyn Live and #Stand. With Megyn began trending. Celebs like Gabrielle Union and Reese Witherspoon subtly voiced support, liking posts that called the attacks vicious and exhausting. Even Netflix dropped a cryptic post featuring a close-up of Megyn's face with the caption, "You've only seen the beginning." Was that a teaser, a warning, or a lifeline? At the same time, rumors began swirling that Megyn and Harry were working on a follow-up project. Not a lifestyle show, but a docu-series exploring media.
We'll see King Charles do this because he's not confrontational. I don't think that he likes the fact that he's been accused of racism towards his grandchildren in Omid Scobie's book. So I think he's going to continue to tiptoe.
But Kinsey, you recently interviewed a friend of the royal family, Hugo Vickers, who revealed the late Queen was so fearful of Harry and Meghan that she wouldn't want to be alone with them. Let's just
no trust when it comes to Prince Harry, and the picture he tries to paint with Queen Elizabeth, even saying during that BBC interview that the Queen wanted him to have this level of security. We're finding out the truth, and it's that she bothered.
It's my pleasure. It's a big news story. As you can imagine over here, it really has, well, the phone hasn't stopped ringing, put it that way.
And in terms of your initial reaction to this latest news, that in fact it feels like it's a full removal in the sense of not just senior royal duties, but
looking for a friend. He knocked on about 3 doors until he found the house, but discovered that, of course, the people he knew don't live there anymore. Apparently, his Spanish family is now renting the property. But as you say, Caro, it makes a mockery of his claim of wanting to make taxpayers to pay for his security.
Harassment with Megyn herself as executive producer. Think The Social Dilemma, but personal, very personal. Sources said the working title was Framed. The irony? It might just be the comeback Megyn needed, reclaiming the narrative by telling a story only she could tell. And if Netflix was nervous about With Love, Megyn, they might see Framed as a shot at redemption and maybe ratings. As for Kelly, her team reportedly pitched a new segment for her show called Reality Check, where she'd parody public figures and media moments each week. But producers warned her the line between edgy and excessive was wearing thin. A feud with no finish line now. As summer heats up, both women stand at a crossroads. Megyn, bruised but not broken, plotting a quieter, sharper, more thoughtful return. Something less curated, something with teeth. Megyn, louder than ever, but increasingly polarizing, riding high on viral moments while critics sharpen their knives. The public? Still split, still watching, still waiting for someone to blink. One thing's clear, this is no longer just about a failed cooking show or a parody video. It's about narrative control, celebrity survival, and what it takes to stay relevant in a world that forgets fast and forgives slower. Whether it ends in redemption or implosion, the Megyn versus Megyn saga isn't fading anytime soon. And, as always,
Absolutely. I mean, look, there's just such a big difference between the words and the deeds there that it makes you really question the credibility of what he has to say.
Well, this amazing picture of Harry has come out of London where he's buzzing on someone's door. It's been captured on a Ring camera, which, of course, nearly every London home has now due to security fears. He was wandering the streets of Fulham in West London.
Next twist is only one headline away: the redemption plan or PR mirage. By late June, whispers turned into headlines. Megyn was gearing up for a comeback, this time not through muffins or mood boards, but through a raw, unfiltered documentary. Reports claimed she was deep in production on Framed, her alleged docuseries that would expose how public figures, especially women, are manufactured, mocked, and misunderstood by modern media. Sound familiar? Sources said she wanted to go there, from the royal family split, to her miscarriage, to that Oprah interview aftermath, to the With Love, Megyn blowback. No sweaters, no staged brunches, just Megyn talking directly to the camera. The pitch? What if the villain told her side of the story? But skeptics weren't buying it. Some ex-users dubbed it Rebrand Part 3 and joked, "We've gone from palace to produce to pain." Others said it felt like damage control disguised as empowerment. Still, interest spiked. People love a redemption arc, especially one wrapped in Netflix gloss. And then came the power move no one saw coming. Megyn was spotted leaving a dinner with Shonda Rhimes.
Didn't put eye makeup on. And she also is pretending that she's crying. And we did a zero in, like we zoomed in just to see. There isn't a tear in sight. Dan, look at this. I invite the viewers to take a close-up look at this. Where's the tear? There's nothing there. Look, it's an actor's trick. She just keeps wiping and wiping and wiping, so we think she has a heart.
Times. Yeah, that Shonda. The queen of comeback narratives. The architect of scandal and inventing Anna. Social media went feral. Was Shonda involved in Framed? Would she executive produce it? Would Olivia Pope herself narrate Megyn's truth? One viral tweet read, "If Shonda's on board, Meg's not playing anymore." Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly wasn't staying quiet. Her team dropped a slick teaser for her own upcoming miniseries-style podcast titled The Megyn Myth, a 4-part breakdown of what she calls the real Markle playbook. The first episode? The exit strategy, focused entirely on Megyn's alleged plans to leverage the royal brand from day one. People rolled their eyes, but they also listened. The podcast hit #1 on Spotify in under 48 hours. Kelly posted a smug selfie with the caption, "Numbers don't lie." Critics slammed her. Again. She's obsessed. She's punching down. She's monetizing misogyny. But others called her a media mastermind. 2 powerful women, 2 opposite strategies, 1 public battleground, and just when you thought things couldn't get messier, Harry finally spoke. In a surprise appearance on a veterans' mental health panel, he didn't address Kelly or the show directly, but he did talk about the weight of constant online hate and watching someone you love be misrepresented over and over. The message was crystal clear. He was standing by Megyn, again, publicly, quietly, unapologetically. X lit up. Say what you want about them, but Harry always shows up. Endgame. Legacy or limelight. So now the stage is set for the next phase, not just for Megyn and Megyn, but for the culture war they've come to represent. Megyn is trying to shift from influencer light to truth teller, aiming to reclaim her story in a rawer, smarter format. One less about lifestyle and more about lived experience. Megyn is doubling down on confrontation as content, turning podcast beef into a business model, betting that being loud and unfiltered is still the fastest route to relevance, and the audience, still captivated, still divided, still waiting to see who blinks first or who breaks. Behind the glossy edits and viral memes, this story taps into something deeper. How we treat women who don't fit our boxes, the ones who are too polished or too angry or too ambitious, whether you root for Megyn, roll your eyes, or tune in just to see what'll happen next. You're watching
Television Awards 2025 with P&O Cruises. Tonight, we find out who will win an award and who will be murdered. I've changed the rules. This is my first time hosting a major televised awards ceremony on British soil.
the machine in motion, because in 2025, celebrity isn't just about fame, it's survival. And this battle, far from over, so grab your popcorn. Megyn's next drop is coming, and you know Megyn's already got a reaction episode queued up, July 2025. The plot twist. Nobody predicted Just As Framed was quietly building buzz, and the Megyn Myth podcast hit its second week at #1. Something happened that no one, not even the most tapped-in gossip accounts, saw coming. A leaked email. Late one Thursday night in early July, an anonymous tipster sent screenshots of a supposed internal Netflix memo to several entertainment blogs. The subject line? Urgent. Talent concerns. Markle series revisions. The contents? Brutal. Executives were reportedly unimpressed with early cuts of Framed, describing it as overly self-serving, lacking narrative focus, and drenched in grievance. The memo even questioned whether audiences have Markle fatigue, a phrase that trended on X within hours. The leak set fire to Megyn's carefully constructed redemption arc. Was Netflix cooling on her? Was Framed in jeopardy? Or, and this was the conspiracy everyone started whispering, was this leak intentional, a power play, a distraction, or sabotage? Then, just days later, a second leak dropped, this time from Kelly's camp. A short clip from episode 3 of The Megyn Myth found its way online, but this one backfired. In it, Kelly mocked Megyn's past miscarriage interview with Oprah, making a sarcastic comment that many called insensitive and disgusting. The backlash was instant and loud, from fans, from journalists, and even from some of Kelly's own sponsors. Within 48 hours, 2 advertisers pulled out of her podcast. Kelly, in classic fashion, doubled down.
Be gentle, Britain. And if you think hundreds of thousands of people watching a cherry being popped on screen is weird, then you probably don't surf the internet too much. And I say bravo to you. But enough of me. What do you think of my last movie?
I'm not here to babysit people's feelings, she said on air. But behind the scenes, damage control was underway. And just like that, both women were wobbling. The internet turned, not just on Megyn, not just on Megyn, but on the whole spectacle. Prati Coil. By mid-July, the tone across social media had shifted. People were exhausted. The commentary started sounding different. Why are we still pitting women against each other for clicks? This isn't journalism. It's performance. When did critique turn into character assassination? Writers, influencers, and former stans began questioning the media ecosystem that built this entire feud into a public blood sport. Think pieces flooded Substack and TikTok. A viral essay titled "The Megyn Machine" broke it down perfectly. We don't care who's right. We care who bleeds better on screen. Suddenly, this wasn't just celebrity drama. It was a mirror. August. Ceasefire, or setup. In a shocking move that sent entertainment news into a tailspin, Megyn's reps announced that she would appear on a live panel at the Venice Media Summit, a prestigious invite-only industry event, to talk about narrative control in the digital age. And guess who was also invited as a counter-voice? Yep, Megyn. Kelly. The event, titled "Who Owns the Story?" was billed as a media dialogue, not a debate. But no one was buying that. Behind the scenes, both camps were negotiating ground rules, security details, and red line topics. No royal talk, no lawsuits, no Oprah clips, just two women, two microphones, and a room full of elite media power players. One entertainment reporter posted, "If this really happens, it'll be the most watched panel since Zuckerberg versus Elon." And now, the stage is set for what could be the final act, or just the end of Season 1. Either way, one thing is clear. Megyn wanted a comeback. Megyn wanted a moment. And now, the world wants a reckoning. Whether they crash or evolve, unite or explode, their stories are permanently entangled. Two sides of the same celebrity coin. Will Megyn reclaim her narrative and rise as the new face of media reform? Will Megyn cement her role as the unapologetic disruptor who says what others won't? Or will both lose control of the stories they've fought so hard to tell? Stay tuned, because August is about to get very real.